Saturday night at the movies. Who cares what you see? When my baby comes running and I come running to me. Yep, it's that night, Saturday night at the movies. And as you know, I'm planning doing a lot of Halloween, a lot of horror films, a lot of good horror marathons. Why not? Why not? But this is a special Saturday night at the movies. This is the look of the rise, the falls, the looks of one of the well-known Stephen King book, which they've made so many fucking versions of. It's enough to make my, well, it's already made me go bald. It's enough to make my hair fall out. That being Salem Lock. That's right, Salem Lock. Now, as we know, it's taken of a Stephen King book, just what I just said. And in 1979, they did a mini TV series, sort of like a mini series with David Soul. This was not long after he did the TV series, remember right there, Starsky and Hutch. Well, not long after Starsky and Hutch sadly went bye-bye and went off air in 1979, David Soul started to appear in a miniseries called Salem Lock. It was very successful, but he only did a few episodes and decided to turn it into a feature film. Same there, that being Salem Lock, come out in 1979. I remember seeing it, it's a bit dated now, but it's still pretty good. For its time, it was pretty scary. I always remember the scene where the little boy is tapping on the window, and another little boy makes the mistake of opening the window, he flies up to him, he smiles, and he bites his fucking jugular. I always remember that scene. I remember the scene where the guy opens the coffin and the little boy comes out and bites him on the jugular. I always remember the most best iconic scene is the scene which basically is a love letter to Natu Vatu. And I want to know Natu Vatu, it was a film, silent film, come out in, remember right there, 1972. And it was, at the time, what it was, the best-selling novel being Dracula. They could not get the copyrights of Dracula. So the justice they did in 1972 was get one called Natu Vatu. Everyone remembers it. It's a bald vampire, bit cheaper looking. I do know in 1979 they already did a remake to Natu Vatu, which is ironic, as we all know, in the early 30s, they did get the rights. That's why in 1931 they did Dracula. During the days, it'd be Christopher Lee, or whoever played the role of Dracula. The rest is history. But back then they didn't. So this was a love letter to Natu Vatu. They had this cheapy bald vampire, big fangs, all blue. I also remember that, and I also remember the iconic scene where it ties in pissing, doing birds for something he hasn't done, and it jumps out, dies on that die. I also remember it making me jump out of my fucking skin. It was very successful, and because of the big success in the late 80s, they did one called Return of Salem Lock. I don't mind it, the little bits in there where I do think it's a bit downbeat. Like there's this one dude begging for help, saying the vampires are going to get her. And he's got my mate, but he's got a lot of films, whether it be The Link, whether it be The Stuff, whether it be the dad in the original Troll. He's in the film. And what I mean by downbeat, he's got this one dude begging for help, and they think they're going to help her. They make one mistake, goes to her house with vampires to get her and kill her. That kind of pisses me off. But it's definitely a lot more fire, it's definitely a lot more dorier. Definitely got the 18 rating. Then they sort of decided to do another remake. You think, right, that could be right, could be one. I think it was in 2002. And like I say, it's not one of the best, but it's your typical fucking remake. And now they've decided, in this year, as I was wondering the day, if it was 2004 they did the remake. But nevertheless, this year, they decided to do another remake. What do I think of it? Well, you've already. The trailer looks good, but again, it looks generic. And you've heard what I think about Stephen King. I like Stephen King. If anyone says, you just don't like Stephen King, I like Stephen King. Without what I just said, I like Judo. I like The Signing. Even though Stephen King hates the original Signing, Stanley Tupick, The Signing, with my mate Jack Nicholson, I don't mind it. So to spoil your fun, Stephen King, but I actually like the movie one. Hit me with a fucking axe and say, here's Donny. And the one what he does like, the one what launched his career, being Carrie, that's the only one film Stephen King likes. But on the original 1976, I've got to admit, I like that one with Sissy Spacek. I like Carrie. I remember when I first saw it, it made me jump out of my skin, the famous ending, from the big blood, the fact it was the very early film of John Travolta. But I also remember the iconic scene with the hand coming out, getting the poor woman by her hand, the nightmare scene, which does make me jump out of my fucking skin. And not only that, it launched a lot of other ideas for other horror films, whether it would be Friday the 13th, Just to Kill. You know, the famous nightmare jump scare scene was used a lot after that, so I salute Carrie for that. So there's a lot of things I like of Stephen King, but what's pissing me off is lately they're remaking so much of Stephen King's old stuff. They're remaking it. Think about it. My Pet Cemetery, It, and so on. They're even thinking of ideas of remaking Judo. They're thinking of ideas of remaking The Running Man. Yep, The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The classic film was an action film, believe it or not, was a Stephen King book. They're thinking of remaking it, and why? Why? You've already heard me say it, so don't rewind back and repeat things I've already said. So they do that. But it's always one of these, is it going to be a good film, is it not? But how many Sanum locks have we got to have? Return of Sanum Lock, a remaking 24, and now another remake, 24. Come on. When are we going to start seeing something new of Stephen King? Men, I love vampire films. You know how many I've mentioned? Fight Night, The Lost Boys, Fight Night Part 2, From Dusk to Dawn, Near Dawn. I can name loads, even the ones with Christopher Lee. Some I like, some I may not dated very well, but some I don't mind. But how many fucking of these Stephen King films have they got to fucking remake? How many? But it's one of them, it might be a good film, or it might just be a typical generic film. Might be. Well, I was around in my bed after a hard working day, but you know, I'm an hard working Joe. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I do best, whether it's movies, whether it's movie reviews, and so on. So what I'm going to do next is probably talk a bit more about my Halloween films, talk about the films like my favourite horror movies, whether it be A Nightmare on Elm Street, whether it be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whether it be, fuck it, I just said it, The Signing, whether it be The Exorcist, and so on. And then we'll talk about other movies that I think fucking suck asses. Suck assholes. Why not? I'm on a roll. So I'm going to have fun doing that. We'll have a lot of fun. So at the moment, I'm going to keep thinking about the things to do about movies. Talking about my other films. And talking about, I might just eventually talk about Stephen King's. Why not? Talk about the ones I like. And now I'm pissed off for everybody who just said it. The ones what are pissing me off. Because I don't want to see remakes. I don't want to see remakes of Stephen King. He's done so many fucking books and they're still not on the cinema. Instead, you're just fucking repeating stuff. I remember someone saying this once, and they were right. Hollywood these days is lacking imagination. They are. And I want to see Hollywood back in the days when they had imagination. I want to see something new. Well, there's nothing new now. There's nothing original. Everything's been done in Hollywood. Everything has been done, but something imaginative. It's like, I remember speaking about Speak No Evil. I like that film because, yeah, it's not new, but it was something different. It wasn't a fucking digging up from the fucking past. But we'll see. It might be a good film. It might be fucking generic. Few films I'm interested in seeing, but I'll see. But until then, people, I'm going to end it with my favourite saying. Saturday night at the movies, who cares what you see? When my baby goes walking and I go walking with me.